Hello, this is sullyNix, and I'd like to do some private analysis of the current game me and Blaine have going here. I can't really do this analysis when he's around because then he'll know exactly what I'm thinking next time he comes. So I'm going to start doing these videos, so in addition to the regular play-by-play, you're also going to get at least, I hope at least one of these per game. So, we're at the beginning of turn 8 here, and this is by far our longest game. As I'm explaining things, I'll just look around here. So, in the past games, I do believe this is our third game. Yeah, I think it is. In past games, the Axis, or Germany more specifically, has always sent out its air force to destroy the British fleet around England and elsewhere. However, in this game, I decided to not do that. I decided to leave most of the fleet alone because I did not want to risk losing any aircraft. I decided from the beginning of this game that I was not going to try to contest British control of the seas at all. Instead, I said to myself, my planes would purely focus on the Russians, and I could soak up any of the naval invasions by the massive British Navy with hordes of infantry, so their bombardments would be minimal. And the amount of money they pour into their ships would be great, but the amount they actually get from those ships would be minimal compared to the use I would get out of my fighters. So, G1, most of my planes went and it helped attack Russia. They did help it go more smooth. However, they really weren't necessary. There's only 2 Russian soldiers on each of the border provinces, and so really those planes should have gone elsewhere. That is what I am beginning to feel now. As of now, Germany has 3 fighters and a bomber, and those fighters are jet fighters because I researched jet fighters as soon as I had gotten mechanized infantry. So I chose mechanized infantry because my idea was that I wanted for infantry to be able to reach the front lines ASAP. And I thought the best way of doing that was to get Panzer Grenadiers, and that way... Oh, oops, it's the bad stool again. And so I could transport guys immediately to the Eastern Front. In reality, Germany's fortunes on the Eastern Front crumbled as early as turn 3. They lost their ability to push. And I need to look at the previous videos to see as to why that happened. But essentially, I spread my forces evenly, bordering Leningrad and Stalingrad, and that made it where I couldn't effectively attack either of them. And instead, the Russians built up here and there, and they just crashed in from all sides. And so I cut my losses and retreated. So the situation we have here is the first of its kind, in which Russia is really pushing in here. So they've taken Poland, and as you can see, the British have been ferrying men and tanks into Poland to help defend, and even 2 have come down here into Ukraine. Personally, I think this is a terrible idea for the Allies. These British soldiers would be of far better use elsewhere. Imagine if this massive useless fleet was instead swung over here, and then swung over here, and then, in 2 turns, I think there's 3 transports there at least, there could be a sizable army in Morocco, and Italy does not have the capacity to meet that sort of threat. Of course, they would see it coming, but it would divert their resources. The point I'm trying to make is that those ships are barely doing anything. In the beginning attacks, they helped invade France multiple times. However, now they're floating junkyards because it's not worth doing any naval invasions. Naval invasion into France, he just doesn't have enough men, and I have a jet fighter there, so it would just be a very tough fight for him. Then Germany, of course, that's impossible because, as you can see, there's 3 reds underneath that German infantry, so he's not taking it. And one possible target is here, northwestern Europe. However, I think the thing is that he would just be pushed off. So anyway, if I were him, I would immediately send this fleet over here to bug with Italy. Italy's fleet, in complete contrast, is doing wonders for Italy. Even though it has a very small fleet, these 3 transports are transporting invaluable men and tanks and other goodies to newly acquired lands. In one turn, it's getting stuff from Italy to there. It's the perfect system. And this cruiser and battleship are doing just okay. Even though the Russians built their new air force, it's not going to be worth attacking this navy. They're going to be at bad odds. So my entire navy is helping out. Even this little destroyer can be used as a blocker if they try to come here. So I'm very proud of Italy. I think we both agreed that this is the best Italy has ever been utilized. In past games, we struggled to use Italy effectively. However, actually there's no however. Italy is just doing fantastically. They're really being a big nuisance to the Allies. Oh yeah, and by the way, for Germany, I've sent their transport over here. In the past, I used it to slowly transport units, but I'm sending it on a suicide mission. It's going to move 1 infantry from France, 1, 2, and invade Brazil. I think it's worth a single transport because it will pay itself off in 3 turns, and this transport's doing nothing, and it'll force the United States to build units there. So I think it's a great idea. At least I hope so. The Americans have nothing to counter it except for building stuff there. They'll have to spend their resources instead of spending them in the Pacific. And I guess I should come over here now. So this is the second game in which I have placed a Manchurian factory. This is the first game that I placed it on turn 1. Japan buying no units. I decided, after much deliberation, that Japan's long-term strategic goal should be to annoy Russia. That's what it should do, because in reality, the Axis needs to kill Russia more than anyone else. The United States is out of the question, not going to happen. Russia is the best choice. So this Manchurian factory can tie down Russian units, and it pressures China. I've spent lots of time killing China, and I think that's been good. It's just gotten weight off my chest. I decided not to attack this turn, because even if I did kill those Chinese dudes, I don't like the odds. I mean, I bet I could kill them, but Russia would probably counterattack, and it would be so long before they could be reinforced. Yeah. And by the way, that infantry and that artillery wasn't there before. That guy wasn't there before. So you can move all that stuff back a little bit, and then you could see why that wouldn't be a good idea. Just 3 hits from those guys, and I would lose some tanks, and I don't want that to happen. We've also agreed that if China only has 1 territory, it can't get reinforcements, because in the rule book it says it gets 1 guy for every 2 territories it has, and clearly it only has 1. And this game isn't Risk, so no, you don't get a guaranteed amount, even if you only have 1 territory. Down here, I've decided to place another industrial complex because I'm trying to split up the Americans. So Japanese they make almost as much as the Americans, but the problem is that if they were to blow all their money in one turn on the Navy, it could be annihilated. So I built another base of operations. Probably just going to build infantry there this turn. So yeah, actually, you know what? It depends. I still haven't fully decided, but I have three factories, and yeah, I think my Japan game has been decent. This turn went very badly. Probably going to retreat that bomber. So right now I'm deliberating about whether I should try to get paratroopers, because paratroopers would allow me to threaten more of Russia, because Japan has a long range aircraft, so I could paratroop guys. I could threaten the Russians from afar, and I could take back islands that are lightly defended. Even that one, if I had 3 bombers and dropped 3 infantry and maybe attack with some aircraft, I could very well take an island without a fleet, because I'm thinking that building a fleet might be just a waste of money because it'll be crushed. So I'm starting to think that maybe aircraft is the way. I'm worried about the Indian threat. I'm worried that this fleet, with its one transport, is going to attack Africa because it will slowly drain away money. These guys can't attack at the same time, so their combined attack would not be effective, and it might be disastrous. So we'll see. But if the British Navy goes this way, then I may start some more shenanigans over here. But we will see. This Italian attack was good, and yeah, I'm going to continue funneling guys here. If he doesn't get enough guys over here, then I'm probably going to lash out. In fact, I might... Yeah, if he doesn't put more guys there, a significant amount more, I could take Moscow itself and take all their money. That would be a crippling blow to them. So we'll see. But this video is getting pretty long, and it'll take forever to upload. So, I guess I'll see you next time for some more analysis. Alright, out.